This is NTV. This is NTV.
The impala is a medium-sized, graceful antelope found in southern Africa to the northern limits of East Africa. In Uganda, they can only be found in Lake Mburo National Park. With its reddish-brown body, the impala is very similar to the kobe.
Mbaniriza nnyo ku NTV olwaliro lwakutaano olunaku lumu olw'omwezi ogw'omukaaga omwezi ogukomekereza ekitundu ekisooka eky'omwaka. Nze Farida Nakazibwe ne NTV ku ssaawa emu. Abagenda maaso nga mumansa kasasiro mu kibuga tubasaasidde. Olwaliro omuyimbi Halima Namakula ajja kulwawo nga alulojja. KCCA emukutte ng'emulanga kutimba bipande bya kivvulo mu kibuga ekintu Jennifer Musisi kye yaganirawo nga yakajja mu ntebe. Tulina ebifaananyi bya Halima ng'ali mu kkooti ku City Hall, sooka olabe emitwe emikulu tubikuwe mu bujjuvu. Poliisi efulumizza ekifaananyi ky'omutujju eyaddukidde mu Uganda. Babiri bafiiridde mu kabenje ka bbaasi akagudde e Lwengo. Poliisi enenyezza minisitule y'ebyentambula. Okufa kw'omusirikale John Michael Ariong, abalala bateereddwa. Songa mu mizannyo, Uganda Cranes etuuse mu Angola erinze lwa Sunday. Yokka yeyise ku ssaawa emu. Mbaniriza nnyo ku NTV ku ssaawa emu. Poliisi olwaliro efulumizza ebifaananyi by'omutujju abwenjizibwa ab'obuyinza mu Kenya agambibwa okuddukira mu Uganda. Ahmed Khalid Mula kigambibwa nti yayingira kuno wiiki ewedde ng'akozesa bbaasi ya kalita. Ono omusajja nzaalo ya Germany naye nga yakolerako mu ggwanga lya Somalia era ng'alina akakwate n'akabinja aka Al-Qaeda. Yo poliisi etandise kaweefube w'okusomesa abantu abali mu bifo eby'olukale engeri gye basobola okwewala ebikolwa eby'ekitujju. Musasi waffe kati webisingawo.
Poliisi kyadda kyefulumiza ebifaananyi bya Ahmed Khalid Mwera nga nzaalwa za Germany kyokka ng'alina akakwate n'abatujju ba Al-Qaeda ngeri ennaku zino yeewogome mu Uganda. Ono y'omu ku bantu abasinga okunoonyezebwa mu ggwanga lya Kenya olwa bbomu ezo ezitulika erudda eyo.
Waliwo terrorist eyayingidde wano ate nga e Nairobi nawala bamunoonya.
Poliisi egamba nti ono okutuuka kuno yakozesezza bbaasi ya kampuni ya Kalita.
Bbaasi bwe yalenga eva e Nairobi neyimira Limuru awantu awatali scheduled stop kusinziira ku information gyetulina. Omusajja oyo n'ayingira mu bbaasi kilomita 3 ng'agenda kutuuka e Busia n'ava mu bbaasi. Bbaasi n'eyita ku booda Busia. Bwe yatuuse mu Uganda n'eyimirira awantu omusajja oyo n'ayingira.
Wano nera poliisi weesinzidde okutandika okukunya abamu ku bakozi b'omu kampuni eno okuzuula enkolagana yaabwe n'omusajja ono.
Kubanga baba beetikka omuntu gwe twekengedde ate tuba tulina okubeera ku bye tubabuuza tusobole okuba nga twongera okunnyonnyoka n'okufuna ki kye bamanyi ku nsonga eyo.
Mu kiseera kino poliisi erabudde bannayuganda okubeera obulindaala naddala nga bali mu bifo eby'olukale okwewala abatujja okutuukiriza ebigendererwa byabwe.
Tuvuddeyo okulaba nga tubasomesa n'okubajjukiza kubanga sigamba nti tubadde tetusomesa naye okubajjukiza ku bigambo ebikwatagana n'obutujju naddala mu biseera bino. Buli mulisirikale yaweereddwa ekiragiro nti bw'oba otambula mu nguudo ez'enjawulo fuba okulaba nti weekenneenya abantu b'omu kitundu, weekenneenya ebintu ebigenda mu maaso.
Ebyokwerinda mu paaka za bicycle taxi binywezeddwa mu kaweefube okulwanyisa obutujju nga muno poliisi etandise okwogerako n'abakola omulimu guno saako okwaza ebifo ebitali bimu.
Yo security wano tujja kulimba, yo security ennafu nnyo wano ku paaka.
Mu paaka muno tulimu abantu bangi tetusobola kwekuuma ffeka.
You know, the threat of terrorism now is high and is imminent. That's why we are trying to make all these spot checks and try to make sure that they put all the security measures in place.
Uganda ne Kenya zize zikolebwako ebikola eby'obutujju nga bino birese bangi nga bafudde so nga abalala basigadde n'obuvune obutali bumu. Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
NTV kusawemo. Kooti y'oku Buganda Road kyaddaaki ekkiriza okweyimirwa kw'abasajja abana ababadde ku musango gw'okwetaba mu lukuŋŋaana olwavaako obujagalalo omwafiira omusirikale John Michael Ariong. Bano olunaku lw'eggulo baziddwayo e Luzira oluvannyuma lwa ssaabawabi wa gavumenti okujja entamu mu musango gw'okutemula Ariong gwe babadde bavunaanibwa mu kkooti y'e Nakawa.
Abana bano okuli Ismail Kiria, Yoweri Kintu, Malik Nsubuga ne Muhammad Sebugwawo bavunaanibwa wamu ne bannabyabufuzi b'oludda oluvuganya gavumenti okuli Kano Kiza Besigye, Erias Lukwago n'abalala. Omulamuzi Eliana Kayinza yakkiriza bano okweyimirirwa ku kakalu ka kkooti ka mitwalo 50 buli omu ezibadde ez'obuliwo. Kyokka bibadde byampuna okufuna ssente zino. Kuba bonna abazze okweyimirira bano babadde tebaziweza era zibadde za kwesonda bwesonzi. Ssente z'abantu basatu bokka ze zisoose okufunikawo, zo eza Malik zigenza okuwera nga banka ziggaddewo era bw'atyo musajja wattu nazzibwayo kwa limanda okutuusa olw'enkya. Bano bonna ne Babesigye bakudda mu kkooti nga 26 omwezi guno.
Police ekukulumidde Ministry y'ebyentambula eyajjawo ekiragiro kye yali eyisizza ku kampuni za bus kye bagamba nti kyekivuddeko obubenje okweyongera. Olwaleero waliwo akabenje ka bus akagudde e Lwengo okumpi ne Kampala okumpi ne Masaka ku ssaawa 12 ez'okumakya. Baasi ya kampuni ya Western Coach ebadde edduka etomedde loole ekika kya Fuso abantu 2 ne bafiirawo. Baasi eno tebaddeemu basaabaze. Dr. Stephen Kansina akulira poliisi y'ebidduka agamba nti okujjako ng'amateeka amakakali gateekeddwa ku bavuga bus ate ne gassibwa mu nkola obubenje bwakweyongera.
Yabadde nga terina abantu ku kusaawa eno nga etuuse kaleegero eringa mayiro emu kuva Lyantonde naye eri mu district ya Lwengo ng'ali ku sipiidi ng'alemereddwa ekoona n'akusangayo ekiroole n'akikoona kibadde kiri mu building materials. Kati abantu 2 babadde mu loole ne bafiirako. Ate eno basi yennyini yafuna akabenje esanga abantu 8 ne bafiirako. Twateekako police aba body ya transport licensing board kubanga na police etolako. Basi yone esaabaza abasaabaze bwegenda beefunya akabenje ate tukizuula nti kivudde ku human error okuvuga bubi. Basi zonna za kampani ezo baziyimirize, ba drivers bonna babakomyewo babatestinge, basi bazinspectinge. Naye bana ba basi kubanga omanyi baagala nnyo ssente kye baagala ssente zokka oba abantu batambudde batamu basi zaabwe bagenda ne basikinkana minisita wa works n'ajjako decision ya board ate nga tabuuziza na board okuvuura we yajjako decision eyo obubenje bwa basi bweyongedde.
Stephen Kansima akulira poliisi y'ebidduka mu ggwanga agenda okukiikirirawo ekibiina kya DP mu Parliament ya East Africa. Fred Mukasambidde azizza omuliro eri akulira oludda oluwabula gavumenti mu Parliament Nathan Nandala Mafabi eyanenya aba DP ne UPC ng'agamba nti baali olukwe mu FDC. Mbidde agamba nti yagenda kulwanirira bibiina bitono era nti mu mpaba ye ne FDC yagitwalira mu kubanga yali yezzizza ebifo byonna wamu ne NRM.
N'olwekyo omukulu yeetaaga akakane. Tewaliwo kibiina kyalidde mu kibiina kirala olukwe. naye nze nagenda mu kooti era waliwo n'ababadde bagamba mbidde ye Juda Iskarioti. Nedda nze Yesu yennyini owa iyala lwakuba najjirira bibiina bitono. Nze nagenda mu kooti okununula ebibiina ebitono lwakuba bano saabagamba naye nabo nabawaabiriramu kubanga baali baggalirayo ebibiina ebirala okumala emyaka 10 nga bagabana babiri FDC ne NRM era nabalabanga ne campaign balaga engalo ezo bbiri ebibiina bibiri. Kakati nze ekyo kikyantwala mu kooti kugulawo oluggi kulembera abo era gyanaakoma kuba kati akulembera kati FDC mu parliament. Situmanyi oba omwaka we gunaggwerako yonna anaaba akyagiweza asobola okusigala nga akulembera baveeri ye mu constituency ye. Kakati obwo si bwe bukulembeze. Obukulembeze tekitegeeza bantu kukkaanya ku buli kintu. Kyekiteesaawo organize okuteesa. Singa kyali nti aba NRM bonna bakkaanya okuviirira ku kyalo tebanditaddewo parliament.
Ye Fred Mukasambidde omubaka omulonde wa East African Legislative Assembly ziri 10 eziise ku ssaawa emu. Webale nnyo okubeera naffe katuwummule mu katono ddala tovaawo tudda n'ekitundu ekyokubiri era bino bye bimu ku bikirimu. KCCA tabuse ekutta omuyimbi Halima Namakula lwa kuddugaza kibuga. Kiki ekiddako amazina bwe gava ku street ne gayingira parliament tosubwa Zongolo.
Olugero lwa leero. This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Mwebale nnyo kubeera naffe mu mawulire amalala. Omuyimbi Halima Namakula KCCA emukutte olwaleero ng'emulanga ku Jamawaza Kibuga. Ono bamuleese okutuuka ku kkooti ya KCCA ku City Hall gy'avunaaniddwa olw'okutimba ebipande by'ekivulu kye mu kibuga, ekintu KCCA kye yawera. Wabula ye agamba nti KCCA esaana ekola emirimu gyayo mu bwesimbu kubanga waliwo ebipande bingi mu Kampala omuli n'ebyabakukunavu mu gavumenti.
Kigambibwa nti aba KCCA bagezezzaako okukwata Halima mu ngeri y'ekitiibwa naye ne balemererwa ng'agezaako okubalemesa.
Enguudo zaffe ziri wali ziri zonna zijjudde mulemi okukola ebyo muli ku bupande obuntu obutinyi.
Kyokka bwe balabye ng'obudde bugenderera kwe kwongeramu ku maanyi era ne looya we waatuukidde ne balinnya emmotoka okutuuka ku kkooti.
Lwakize gumusokerako?
No! Nabala tubakutte. Yes. Madam. Tubadde tukusaba. N'obuwombeefu. Tambule. Ngende ku sitoko.
Ina asomeddwa musango ogumuvunaanibwa.
Bagana n'ebipande mu kibuga saabijjaayo nga show ewedde. Naye kineewuunyisa ebya mukama waffe Museveni bikyaliyo, ebyaba MPs bikyaliyo, naye kirabika ebya Halima birina omugaso munene nnyo mu State Council.
Oba oli politician, oba oli muntu omusumba, bano abalanga gospel crusades, buli muntu yenna nga tumutegeeza nti posters tetuzikiriza mu kibuga.
KCCA egamba nti eriko n'abayimbi abalala be bawadde amabaluwa nga balabulwa ku nsonga y'emu. Aba KCCA bagamba nti wadde ekintu kino bakiyimbiridde nnyo, batono abafuddeyo bwe batukwe kulowooza nti engeri eno eneebaza okusa. Irene Namyalo, NTV ku ssaawa emu.
Webale nnyo Irene Namyalo. Gye mutabadde Paalamenti ya Uganda yabalondedde ababaka abaana abakiikirira mu lukiiko lwa East Africa. Abataagala kubalondera kirabika muli bakunoonya bibanja awalala. Aba FDC bo babizize Luchamzi n'akwata mu kkooti ye ne fayiro ne yeetambulira. Byonna tubikuteeredde mu Zzungulu.
You come to the center. Yawuta supu w'abannansi mu katale.
Yali enkoko embisi bwayita mu kamooli.
Gasirika busindisi binne bali wali erwa.
Zungururu. Ennaku zino abantu boogerera wamu nti bakoowu. Kirabika buli omu mukoowu okuggyako nti kibaakoowa kyetutamanyi naffe. Anyway, ffe abamu twakoowa ababbi abatufuula olusuku. N'okola ebintu byo oli najja n'abitwala ate ne yeewaana nti nze Shobi omubbi.
Mukola agaliyo. Owulira tokola mawulire ate gataliyo.
Shobi si gwe atutuma okukola amawulire n'olwekyo yogera ku byotegeera obulungi.
Ezo kamera nze sizitya oba okuba ebifaananyi bifaanana bitya oba biki.
Oba tozitya lwe baakukwata ku poliisi nga wali weekweka feesi wama mulase yaawo ekifaananyi ekirala. Poliisi egamba olina emmundu oli mubbi simanyi biki.
Okuvale watandika okunkubako sitole tonkubangako sitole ennungi. Gwe naddala ate gwe.
Totutiisatiisa yogera ku misango gye bakulumiriza.
Anze yembeera
mukyala sho bigendo sinkane bbaawo gwamusobola mugambe tumulinze ku beesi bwe banaamweyimirira anaatusangayo ebyamaanyi twabikoowa n'omuntu alina okuyonja waakolera naye ayagala kumukwasa maanyi bamuwaleewale bamukwasa olweyo aba bodaboda mwe mufuka ku siteegi eno kwata enkumbi naawe ogogole wali ondabyeko nga nfuka wano wali ondabyeko nkukube okuyonja obuyonja kirwanya omuntu wakiri oli abeera mu kifo n'alwala olw'obukyafu naye nga tayonjezzaawo ebirala babisobola ng'okwebaka okulya oba amazina ng'ago eyo ye Uganda mwe tuwangaalira abazina bwe batabeera ku streeti obasanga mu paliamenti oba ababaka banaaleetayo etteeka ku mazina ebintu mwattu bikyuka waliwo ko etteeka eriwera amazina nga squeeze yuba gaabulira waago nago.
My name is Nusrati Peru. In Uganda I am called Namazi.
Abanange mumpulirize yenze Namazi njagala kubakiikirira mu paalamenti ya East Africa. Otyo engeri gy'oli Namazi ekigiraasi ky'amazzi kiikyo nywera ddala. Aba FDC abaziza okulonda kw'abaka mu paalamenti ya East Africa nga mulabye n'ekiniga oba bakiyita kiruyi oba nnugu twabagamba nti omuzizi azimbya ttwe omulala yalugera nti nnyama ntono ukaane kuli mu nkwawa bannammwe kabajaganye nga mwe mutudde awo. Lukyamuzi gwe toyingidde mu paliamenti kujaganya
banyamo ne bassebo newunyiza nnyo kubanga ekigambo kye bayita parliament kiva mu kigambo kye bayita pale ekyoluzungu
parade naye tulabye sipiika Kadaga akugaana okwogera
omukyalo oyo omulungi naŋŋaana okwogera kitegeeza parliament ya Uganda naye egenda kufuukanga parliament eya Afghanistan eya Beirut.
Olabika owedde omukubo oluuso kyavudde akugaana okwogera neno parliament erina okugenda mu maaso gwe munnange oba ogifulumye abalala kabasigale
ng'ogamba tugenda mu maaso ebintu bibasaze balabye nnyo mbasekeredde to hell with them.
Naawe bali kusindika mu geyeena olowooza mbu sipiika ajja kwekola ekintu olw'okuba ogenze
ekintu onzize eruzira sobola okwekola ekintu sobola okwekola
buli agenda mu kkomera avaayo ayiza okuyimba waliwo nakali akabushalu overcome nako katuweemu.
We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
You will overcome naye bitamanga wuuli ali emmere gye babaleetedde.
Balidde nadda. Naffe tuli bubi.
Bitama tosaasira basibe.
Tuli wabweru naye tulinga bali
linda lwe bali kusiba naawe bali kulyako emmere eyo.
Byonna bya zungururu.
Yezunguluwe bali kubeera ku NTV ziri ya 22 eziyise ku ssaawa emu nate katumulemu katono ddala tovaawo bwe tudda byamizannyo.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
okukola essaawa emu n'ekitundu oli ku NTV ku ssaawa emu mizannyo olwaleero ttiimu y'eggwanga the Uganda Cranes etuuse mirembe mu ggwanga lya Angola nga yeetegekera omupiira gwegenda okusamba ne ttiimu yayo ku Sunday. Guno omupiira gwa kikopo kya nsi yonna ekigenda okubeera mu Brazil omwaka gwa 2014.
Omwogezi w'ekibiina ekiddukanya omupiira mu ggwanga ekya FUFA Rogers Mulindwa ategeeza nti ttiimu ya Cranes etuuse mu Angola ku makya ku ssaawa 4:15 ng'abazannyi bonna bali mu mbeera nnungi. Ttiimu eno yayaniriziddwa ekibinja ky'Abannayuganda ekyasooka ekikulirwa Sam Mpima era bw'etyo n'etwalibwa mu wooteeri eyitibwa Manalu mwegenda okusula. Uganda yakutunkana Angola ku Sunday mu mpira gw'okusunsulamu amanita mu kikubo ky'ensi yonna ekinabeera mu ggwanga lya Brazil mu mwaka gwa 2014. Guno gwe mulundi ogwokutaano nga Uganda esisinkana Angola era nga abazannyi omuli Captain Ande Mwesigwa, Mike Serumaga, Dan Wagaluka ne Simon Masaba badde babeera mu mpira gino. Bwe baakwatagana 28 mu kibuga Rwanda bagwa maliri nga tebali atebye munne so nga ate Uganda Cranes akawangula Angola emirundi ebiri omwali okuba kwa golo 3-1 n'omundi omulala 3-0 e kyokka ate lwakwataganako omwaka ogwedde mu kibuga Rwanda Angola yakuba Uganda golo 2 ku bwereere.
Omudusi Usain Bolt Jamaica akomyewo ku foomu ng'enjogera y'ennaku zino bwegamba bwawangudde empaka za Rome Diamond ez'emita 10 mu kibuga Rome ekya Italy. Ono aziddukidde mu sekonda 9 n'obutikitiki 7 ng'eno ye rekodi ekyasinze omwaka guno.
76, he's back. Bolt is back. Boom, as they say. Gonna win it. Bolt gets enough at the end. Bolt's gonna win it. Bolt gets enough at the end and pulls away 9. 76, he's back. Bolt is back. Boom, as they say.
Bibadde bya mizannyo webale nnyo kwekuumirako NTV tusiima bwongerwa ziri 28 eziyise ku ssaawa emu tetugenda kusukka waawo okujjako baagaliza weekend ennungi ne mbagamba nti tugenda kuba ne NTV weekend edition ku ssaawa 3 nga ku mulundi guno Rachel Tibarukoka yagenda okuzibatuusaako. Faida Nakaziwe baagaliza weekend ennungi mweraba.
This is NTV. This is NTV. NTV. This is 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 NTV.
The impala is a medium-sized graceful antelope found in southern Africa to the northern limits of East Africa. In Uganda, they can only be found in Lake Mburo National Park. With its reddish-brown body, the impala is very similar to the kob, but are differentiated by the black strip which runs along the middle of the lower back to the tail. Their slender lioness-shaped horns are found only in males. The impala weighs up to 80 kilograms with a shoulder height of 75 to 95 centimeters or 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Unlike other antelopes, impalas have large brush-like tufts of long coarse black hair that cover a scent gland located just above the heel on each hind leg. Its remarkable leaps are the most well-known feature of the impala's movement. Impalas inhabit grassland and woodland edges, usually very close by water. They feed on young shoots during the wet season and herbs and shrubs during the dry season.
NTV, turning on your world.
of Rendezvous, New Kid on the Block. Plus great dance moves in corner dance, and find out which videos have made it to the Rendezvous chart. On the Ugandan music scene, rhythm and blues cannot simply go without the name Desire Luzinda. Unlike many upcoming artists, Desire has gone an extra mile to launch herself in the music industry by undergoing vocal lessons. Desire is not confined to a particular kind of music. She does a mixture of music styles ranging from R&B, Afrobeat, reggae and dancehall. She has come a long way from the time she decided that music is her future and started singing. There have been ups and downs in her private life and melodiously as well. On today's edition of Rendezvous, we have one-on-one with Desire Luzinda.
I was born in a family of 7. My father is Mr. Luzinda Jamada and my mother is called Imelda Byanyima. I'm the 5th born out of the 7 kids. I went to Uganda Road Primary School, then Omega College School for my O-level and Makerere High School for my A-level. And I'm still pursuing my further studies.
In 2006, Desire started singing professionally. She released her first single, Nkomye Wo, off the 10 melodic album.
Nkomye is a song that talks about a married couple that was apart, and a lady comes back, the wife comes back and apologizes to a man. I found it very, very touching and something people go through, you know. The reason as to why people break up in marriages is because they do not understand each other, and probably no one is willing to apologize or take the blame. I find it very touching, very, very touching. Even when I sing it, I feel the song. I imagine, you know, that kind of woman who comes back and says sorry.
The album has other tracks like Mubite, Mukwano, Nkomye Wo, which is the title of the album to mention but a few.
I just put myself in, you know, I just take the message and try to put myself in that position. If it's love, I put the love bit of it. Yeah. If it's an emotional song, I'll try to put myself in that position. Just like Nkomye Wo, I really try to put myself in that position of a lady saying sorry to a man. I think that's what drives me.
In her search for excellence, Desire has done some collaboration with musicians like Mr. Mosh and Chaga, formerly of the Leon Island, now with Firebase Crew. Mid this year, Desire came back with another hit entitled Mubite, where she acts as the lovebird. Through the song, she tries to tell lovers how to treasure each other.
It's more of a love song to take lovers out. Basically, it's all about treating someone you love real good. Yeah, because to me, it's a package. You know, you love someone, you care for them, share good moments with them, and of course bad moments chip in, but you don't give up. You keep treating them real good. You enjoy the best of every moment together.
Why did she decide to do her lyrics in Luganda?
This is our country. We're Ugandans, we're local artists, and I think the biggest crowd in Uganda loves the Luganda, the local language. Yeah, they love that kind of music, the songs in the mother tongue. So, of course, I first started with Weekend Party in English and Kiswahili, but it didn't break through as much. Though there are people who like it, yeah. But when I sang Komieo, sometimes I get on stage and people know the song. It feels good. So I get a feel. I think people would love to listen to songs that are in our very own language.
Desire cited Mariah Carey as the greatest influence on her singing technique, and from a very early age, she attempted to emulate her high notes to rising degrees of success as her vocal range stretched.
Personally, it was Mariah Carey. Oh my God, I used to sing more of her songs, you know. Even when like my sisters or my mother got mad at me and somehow I'm not okay, I would just go and listen to the music and just feel okay. So it gave me the courage to get there, to want to get there, and I would really love to get there. I might not be Mariah Carey because I can't be Mariah Carey, but I would love to reach for greater heights.
What's the future plan, and how is her marital status like?
I want to be a business lady alongside my career in music. I believe I'll be a big artist, not only in Uganda, but even out there, because I'm really working hard at it. And I believe I can make it. I've never thought of falling out of the industry.
Though the audience appreciates her music, like all rising stars, she has faced her fair share of challenges.
Music is not easy at all. It's not easy. You know, sometimes you do a song in studio and you think people must love it, because the fact that you find it nice, you think they will love it, and you get disappointed. But one thing that has really kept me going is I strongly believe I'll make it one day. And despite of the fact that people might not appreciate my music immediately, or the moment I put it out of studio, I just feel like I want to do more and make them love it.
Without a doubt, Desire is one very promising upcoming female artist in Uganda.
But I didn't know the secret behind this move. And now that I know, I'm not staying here. 'Cause baby, you're
me never stop it, thinking like a old lady. Yeah, me. Me a done now. I can't believe I have been losing them.
Abajala mutufu mujagala wano juzi na wandelanda abajala mutufu tebanwanira eyeside niyo kyasuse abajala mutufu ngabeyambula emabuuza ekibalwanya tibutamanye mu mutufu ly'omugogo abajala oba mujagala tejagala mukinage temumatira
Tusaidiane mwenye rana shida simdharau mwenye njaa kwa kuwa wewe isiyoeleweka. Leo wewe unalia mwenzako kule anacheka. Usimtukuze tu mwenye nyumba na gari, kumbuka maskini na utajiri zote hali. Unavyodhani ndivyo sivyo, sivyo ndivyo, dunia ndivyo ilivyo, kuna bana matatizo. Kama leo umepewa basi mshukuru Mungu, na kama umekosa ongeza bidii na sio ndumba. Mwezio kiba oli mukazi n'abaki ku matanga ngenda okukola katayi
NTV. This is NTV.
Today on Showcase Uganda, we continue our sojourn through the magnificent wonders of the Rwenzori region. Today on Showcase Uganda, we bring you intriguing secrets and unforgettable landscapes from the captivating Rwenzori region. As we continue to uncover the numerous secrets of the Rwenzori region, we make our way to the famous Sempaya Hot Springs. Even from a distance, the dense clouds of the hot sprays from these unique features beckon. We make our way through thickets and the dense undergrowth of the Semiliki National Park, where these springs are located. The male springs are called Bitende, and the female springs are called Nyasimbi. First, we visit the female springs, which are the closest to where we are. All around us are little puddles of boiling water, some with algae and suds, and others with froth from sulfur, iodine, and calcium minerals floating on top of the water. Clouds of steam rising from the rippling waters engulf you with beads of moisture. The experience is amazing. It's like being in a sauna, fully clothed. While one has to pay dearly to enjoy the therapeutic benefits of a sauna, here the service is free of charge. The medicinal value of the springs was discovered way back by the Bamaga, who are the indigenous inhabitants of this area. The spring's medicinal secrets have been handed down from Bamaga past generations to the present generation.
They believe that their female ancestors stay at these hot springs and the male ones on the other one. So they used to come and bring goats with local food and offer sacrifices so that they can have blessings at home, like high yields in agriculture. And when a member was sick, they would bring him or her and take a shower with this water of low temperature, then the patient would get healed.
The springs have a number of outlets, and some of these can be used to boil eggs.
The water is able to cook food. For an egg, it takes only 5 minutes. For banana, sweet potato, iris, and the rest, it takes only 30 minutes, and you enjoy your lunch.
Nyasimbi has since been reduced to just a ripo, which is smaller in stature and is believed to be cooler than the male. The route to the male springs is very striking. One of the highlights of this part of the journey is a long, winding and intricate bridge which one must cross. This bridge is surrounded by lush greenery with a delicate scent of sulfur minerals in the air. A traveler can't help but feel at par with nature. As we climb up the tower to take a sneak peek of the spring, the view below of the spring and all its surroundings is breathtaking. The male spring, Bitende, boils at 106 degrees centigrade and is the size of a mini swimming pool. Its vent is much larger and therefore does not shoot into the air, but rather ripples on the surface, letting off huge clouds of steam. While Bamaga men and women alike can bathe from the female waters, only males are allowed to wash at the male spring. On our second day, a Wednesday, we make our way to the marketplace. Mugusu Market, locally known as Bwachapira, is a historical weekly affair which attracts people from as far away as Fort Portal and Kasese. The scenes of farmers and traders from different cultures intermingling as they haggle over the prices of their products is very delightful to watch. The rich array of fruits and vegetables is a reflection of the rich volcanic soils and favorable climate of this mountainous region. We leave this lively and colorful scene to make arrangements for our next excursion, this time to the healing waters of Chikagata. When Showcase Uganda returns, we take a dip into Uganda's healing waters. journey to the healing waters is more challenging than that to the hot springs. At about 15 kilometers from the waters, we abandon the car and make the rest of the trip on foot. The journey up and down the hills is long and quite tiring. The ground is both muddy and slippery, so one has to be extra careful not to slip. The hard work climbing becomes worth it because of the magnificent views of the distant hills and vales that we behold. Presently, we can hear the gentle babbling of Kikagata River. This is a good spot to rest and refresh yourself in the cool waters of the river after the tiring trek. Very soon we're up again to tackle the final part of the trek, which is punctuated by more picturesque hills and valleys. In the distance, we can see Mwitangundu Hill, which is the final test of our strength, before we reach the Rwagimba healing waters. This mountain is reputed to be 300 meters high and has a particularly steep section called Bwara Bwawe, literally meaning your fingers. This is because those who are not physically strong use their hands to navigate this part of the journey. We finally arrive at the healing waters and are filled with amazement. Far from the deserted traditional spring we had visualized, it is rife with activity as crowds of people take advantage of its healing properties. They throng the area to experience the alleged curing power of the water that bubbles from the ground. Patients here take turns to immerse themselves in the spring water, hoping to be healed.
Rwagimba Hot Springs is situated in the mountains, Rwenzori Mountains, and it heals. It has two wells. One is for men, another is for women. Another one is for the king. It's just over here, and there's another one which is for the people who have leprosy. It is about 2.5 hours walk from the place called Cabonero, and we are here swimming. We wish we had another 4 days to stay here.
While some may invest in experiencing the healing powers of a modern spa, here in the backwoods of Kikagata, crowds flock to appreciate what nature has bountifully provided. After experiencing the natural wonders of Bunyangabo, it is time for us to hit the road and venture into the wilds once more. Destination, Kibale National Park. The journey to the park is another feast for the eyes as we travel through captivating lush green rolling hills and plantations. The park is located in western Uganda, near the foothills of the Rwenzori Mountains. The most accessible of all Uganda's major rainforests, Kibale is home to a remarkable 13 primate species, including the red colobus and Lost's monkey. This is the greatest concentration and variety of primates found anywhere in East Africa. The park's major attraction, however, is the opportunity to track habituated chimpanzees. The park hosts a population of more than 1,000 chimpanzees, of which one community comprising of 80 chimps has been habituated for tourist visits. At the park headquarters, parties of 6 can be organized for excursions into the forest for a first-hand glimpse of these remarkable apes as they frolic among the trees. The guided tour follows along a network of shady forest trails which will reveal more of its deep secrets. The common chimpanzee usually lives in a community that typically ranges from 20 to more than 150 members, but spends most of its time traveling in a small party of just a few individuals. Chimpanzees are both arboreal and terrestrial, spending equal time in the trees and on the ground.
It was the first time for me for the chimp tracking. I liked it very much. It was a great experience, especially when they came down from the trees. The photographing was quite hard because there was not so much light, but I made some good movies. It was nice.
These chimpanzees are omnivorous. They eat various things, like they eat vegetables, like they eat fruits and leaves, and they also eat meat. Like they form hunting groups, and they hunt monkeys and antelopes, like red and blue duicks, and also bush pigs. And for the monkeys, they surround the trees, then others remain on the ground, and they keep on chasing them. If they go to grab the branches, they pull them, they miss the branches and fall down, and they bite. It is communal hunting, but when it comes to sharing, they don't share equally. They look around. If they look at friends, they give them. So sometimes others participate in hunting, but they don't get anything.
The forest is a delight for nature lovers and botanists. It also provides enchanting sights for birders and butterfly lovers. Another primate which you will not miss to see is the olive baboon. Baboons are terrestrial or ground-dwelling mammals and are found in savanna, open woodland, and hills across Africa. Their diet is omnivorous, but is usually vegetarian. They are foragers and are active at irregular times throughout the day and night. Though baboons in captivity have been known to live up to 45 years, out here in the wild, their life expectancy is about 30 years due to predators like leopards and man. Most baboons live in hierarchical troops of 5 to 250 animals. Females typically give birth every other year, usually to a single infant after a 6-month gestation. The baby will weigh up to 1 kilogram. In mixed groups, males sometimes help in caring for the young of the females they're friendly with by foraging for food and playing with them. Here in Kibale, we have an opportunity to visit yet another healing spring. Although the road this time is less challenging, the springs are just as impressive as the ones at Kikagata. They are equally popular and beneficial to both locals and visitors.
I believe that there is sulfur in it which heals much better. And there is magnesium, there is iron, there is many minerals. If you see the sand itself, and this mud bath, you can make it as a mud bath, and which is very good for the human body to make it as a mud bath. But and many people like this mud bath, who knows, because now they are penetrating through. And my legs now, I've lifted my legs up, and there's pressure which is pushing me up. So, it is choking, it's passing through all the veins, and I feel it through my brain. I can feel it. So I believe that they must be passing through the bodies, because when you're out of the spring, it takes you even 2 days, you're still smelling and feeling the smell of the minerals around you. And whenever even you sweat, you feel them coming there. And you get a very good relaxation at the end of the day.
After a fruitful day out in the open, we return to camp to unwind. Showcase Uganda returns its pointers on how to have a truly enchanting holiday in the open. Next time you're due for a holiday, take time and plan for a sojourn out in the wilds and explore our very own beautiful country. Transport is easily available and there's a variety of accommodation which is both comfortable and affordable. In case you're game for a real tropical adventure, you can get off the regular days camping and hiking in the only real jungle in East Africa. There's nothing quite like hitting the open road, caravan in tow, looking forward to a relaxing and enjoyable holiday. The secret to a successful camping trip is research and planning. It is essential to research the area in which you wish to go camping. An understanding of the area will allow you to prepare for the conditions you are likely to encounter. We happened to meet a couple who traveled from South Africa to Uganda by caravan, and they will take us through key area issues to put in consideration and pack when you decide to go caravanning.
This is our kitchen. We have pots that we use. We've got a gas stove, 2 cylinders. We carry gas with us. And then this side, all our crockery, puts here, all the things. And here we even have like a little pantry where we keep all our fruit and everything. And then up there is what they call a rooftop tent where people sleep. And this is where we sleep. And this is a fridge. We keep all our butters and cheese and milk and everything in it. Tomatoes, lovely tomatoes in this country. And there we keep all our meat and cheeses and everything. There's all frozen meat. And here we keep all our supplies and all our cleaning materials. Move on. And here we keep our generators and we keep our beer. We carry a fire extinguisher and we have spare parts. We have tow ropes in case we get stuck, extra oil. So we're very organized. And if we move to the other side, these are the type of pots that we cook with, cast iron pots. We have kettles to put on the fire, and then we have places to buy your beautiful fruit and vegetables. We brought some sweet potatoes and some what they call here Irish potatoes, and they're delicious. And you tell me they're better pineapples, but these pineapples are beautiful. They're very, very nice. And then we carry extra spare wheels in case we have problems. We carry a high lift jack. And then we carry wood for cooking and extra gas cylinders. And that's how we're going to live for the 4 months that we're traveling in Africa.
Wow.
And it's been wonderful meeting you people, and hope you come and visit us in South Africa.
On your way back after a successful stay in the Rwenzori region, you can stop over and round off your trip by checking out the rich cultures of the region in Fort Portal town.
This is NTV.
Combination here, y'all. Feel it. The revolution will be televised. Feel me.
Come on. She with shampoos a lot. Several mornings she shampoos my locks. Always have my back, she stand true to that. Real type of loving, thank you for that. Yo, run barefoot without the shoes and socks. Cause she keep herself clean, man, I got catch no rush. And she love me for real, man, I feel have no cash. And any little thing and from a splish, she splash. Yo, all this blinging is like you forgot. Use cheddar as the bait, then you recruit the rat. So we listen couple speech of Martin Luther chat. Dennis Brown, Bob Marley and some super cats. Yo, it seem like she live upside the Duke shop. Cause she don't have a scratch, it's only beauty spot. When one duty start is when one duty stop. 1 9 to 5, 1 5 to 12 o'clock, you see me?
They hunt for survival. They live in manyatas but are not Karmajongs. They discovered the cow but are not cattle keepers. They are the lost tribe of Uganda. Welcome to who we are. Last week, the crew of Who We Are was in Kabong to share in the experiences of the Karmajongs and why they live and die for cattle. And as we continue our journey across Uganda, we find a Nilotic tribe inhabiting the escarpments of the Eastern Rift Valley. These are the Iks, or Tauzo as the Karmajongs call them. We shall tell you why in a short while, but first let's roll back in time to find where the Iks came from.
These people originated from Ethiopia, according to the speech of the elders. They came through Sudan, entering Uganda from Kidepo, and when other tribes continued their migration ahead, they remained there as the Ik.
The Ik is a tribe that has been living close to the Karmajongs for centuries. The direct translation of Ik is head. The Iks believed that they were ahead of everyone during the migrations, so they inhabited present-day Karamoja even before the Karmajongs ever did. When the Karmajongs arrived in that area, they drove the minority Iks up north into the hills where they have been living in isolation to date. They originated from a larger Kuliak-speaking people like the So and Nyangi. Even though the Karmajongs say that they own all the cattle in Uganda, the Iks say that they discovered the cow.
And a man called Sogolikori was around discovered the cows in Kidepo. Then they are on the process of distributing these cows. And it was paired by a horn of an animal, whereby the Ik decided to say, from now onwards, keeping cows, keeping animals is death. That's why they said we don't no longer like to keep cows up to date. They don't have cows, goats, apart from chickens. They are rearing.
Another reason for them not keeping animals is that the animals make them vulnerable to the raids from neighboring Karmajongs and Tukanas. Before a UPDF military barracks had been established, the Iks were constantly attacked, looted and their villages burned by the Karmajongs and Tukana warriors who have ultimately nicknamed them Tauzo, meaning poor people without cattle or guns. It is because of such that the Iks have chosen to grow crops and hunt for survival. The Iks live on the hills of Morungle, Kamion and Timo. In order to understand this lost tribe, the crew of Huia communed with the Iks for a few days in Kamion and Timor. The Iks number approximately 5,000 and speak Isetot, a language that borrows a considerable number of words from the Nilotic-speaking tribes. Though their neighbors cannot speak Isetot, the Iks speak Karamojong. It is a true reality that the minorities tend to learn the majority's language. In many ways, the Iks look like Karamajongs. For instance, they wear beads and decorate their bodies to enhance beauty, their traditional of jumps, and they build manyatas just like the Karamajongs. However, they are in no way similar to Karamajongs in their ways of life, and with a population of only 5,000, this tribe may be heading towards extinction. But how are the Hicks fighting to survive? We shall unfold that fact next on Who We Are. More than 3/4 of the Ik population is illiterate. So in their struggle to fight extinction, the Iks have decided to educate their children contrary to their Karamojong neighbors. With only 2 primary schools in the entire region, one in Morungle and the other in Kamion, the children have to travel long kilometers to school. This is Kamion Primary School. The school has only 3 qualified teachers. The children go to school with their younger siblings because their parents have to cultivate for their daily bread. At the primary school, the Iks constantly remind themselves that they are part of Uganda, even though nothing is known about their culture and they are barely recognized on the Ugandan map. The school in the lowland is our first stop in our trek to find the lost tribe. We then proceed uphill to make an acquaintance with the village chairman. It is a lovely view on the hilltop. A few kilometers away from here is the border of Uganda and Kenya. In no time at all, we were at the chairman's residence. And yes, we have to crawl once again into the Manyata. There is barely anybody at home because everyone is in the fields cultivating. After a blessing from the chairman to carry on, we moved to Timor, a village with at least 14 households patched onto the green escarpments of the eastern arm of the Rift Valley. Here, we find young girls at home preparing food for their families who will soon be returning home exhausted from the hard work in the garden. Owing to their background with animals, the Eeks are cultivators. They cultivate on the hill slopes and valleys.
We cultivate in order to survive. We gather in order to survive. Hunting in order to survive. We grow maize, millet, sorghum, beans, vegetables, and cassava sometimes, and banana in little scale.
Every day is a celebration of their very existence. They wake up every morning and head for the fields. Chores at home of fetching water, firewood, as well as taking care of their siblings. The boys, on the other hand, start playing hunting games.
They get some reeds and tie it like a circle. They roll it from the other group up to the other one. If you spear it and it goes through, that group has succeeded. They continue learning, practicing from there. When they grow, they now join us in hunting, such that they become one of the experts in spearing animals.
Hunting has been the Ik's way of life and their means of survival for decades. They used to capture game from the Kidepo Valley until Dr. Milton Obote declared the area a national park in the 1960s. This impeded the Ik's way of life temporarily. However, they later resumed their way of life, hunting in the neighboring Timu forest. The activity is an exciting communal venture whose preparation starts the evening before with an elder's briefing on where to go for hunting.
An elder can decide, children, tomorrow you have to go for hunting and bring for us something. Then the following day, the one an elder said, we get ourselves together, we put our spears together, we divide it into two. So those elders come and sit between the spears. They get a stone, breakable stone. Then they said, okay, our children, all animals which are in this bush, the moment you see them, they will meet with our spears. This elder breaks what? The stone. They kneel down while giving us the way to pick out the spears. But you can't look behind. Now, reaching a distance of 2 to 3 meters, we now give each one his spear. Now, taking off now. Surrounding the bush, an animal that comes out of that bush. When it is not there, they go to the other one.
The boys may also participate, although they do not carry spears, as they are not yet ready and brave enough to spear an animal.
There are those young children, the one I've told you that they practice using, that is cycle, meaning they go and chase animals inside the bush. When an animal comes out, they make an alarm. Please, it has come ever to the east, to the west, get ready from there. Such that you people who are outside the bush are ready, waiting for the animal to spear.
This is the story of the Ik's way of life. Though desperate, the predicament of the Ik is not a lost cause. Just a little understanding is needed from the outside world for the Iks to survive. For the time the crew spent with the Iks, it was obvious that they had a soft spot for one another, family and friends, and that they yearned to defend their language and culture in the face of adversity. That's it for this week. Next week, we shall look at what makes the Iks who they are. Goodbye for now. The impala is a medium-sized graceful antelope found in southern Africa to the northern limits of East Africa. In Uganda, they can only be found in Lake Mburo National Park. With its reddish-brown body, the impala is very similar to the kob, but are differentiated by the black strip which runs along the middle of the lower back to the tail. Their slender lioness-shaped horns are found only in males. The impala weighs up to 80 kilograms with a shoulder height of 75 to 95 centimeters or 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Unlike other antelopes, impalas have large brush-like tufts of long coarse black hair that cover a scent gland located just above the heel on each hind leg. Its remarkable lips are the most well-known feature of the impala's movement. Impalas inhabit grassland and woodland edges, usually very close by water. They feed on young shoots during the wet season and herbs and shrubs during the dry season and drink daily. The male impala are very territorial animals and fiercely guard their territory from challenging males through horn duels. They stand with erect posture, grab scent from face glands and make dung heaps to mark their territory. The females form herds of up to 50 or more and wander in and out of the male territories. If they start to leave the territory, the male tries to herd them back into the center. Bachelor males are allowed to remain in the male territories by the dominant male only if they ignore the females. But occasionally you will catch sight of one lone male impala which keeps close to the female herd and waits for an opportunity when the dominant male is preoccupied to mate with any of the females. The female impala reaches sexual maturity at 1 year and the male at 1.5. Gestation period is 6 to 7 months. In East Africa, young impalas are born all year round, but birth peaks usually coincide with the rains. The young are suckled for 4 to 6 months. The males will not be mature enough to hold a territory until they're 5 or 6 years old. Impala have a lifespan of 12 years. The impala is a medium-sized graceful antelope found in southern Africa to the northern limits of East Africa. In Uganda, they can only be found in Lake Mburo National Park. With its reddish-brown body, the impala is very similar to the kobe, but are differentiated by the black strip which runs along the middle of the lower back to the tail. Their slender lioness-shaped horns are found only in males. The impala weighs up to 80 kilograms with a shoulder height of 75 to 95 centimeters or 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Unlike other antelopes, impalas have large brush-like tufts of long coarse black hair that cover a scent gland located just above the heel on each hind leg. Its remarkable lips are the most well-known feature of the impala's movement. Impalas inhabit grassland and woodland edges, usually very close by water. They feed on young shoots during the wet season and herbs and shrubs during the dry season and drink daily. The male impala are very territorial animals and fiercely guard their territory from challenging males through horn duels. They stand with erect posture, rub scent from face glands and make dung heaps to mark their territory. The females form herds of up to 50 or more and wander in and out of the male territories. If they start to leave the territory, the male tries to herd them back into the center. Bachelor males are allowed to remain in the male territories by the dominant male only if they ignore the females. But occasionally you will catch sight of one lone male impala which keeps close to the female herd and waits for an opportunity when the dominant male is preoccupied to mate with any of the females. The female impala reaches sexual maturity at 1 year and the male at 1.5. Gestation period is 6 to 7 months. In East Africa, young impalas are born all year round, but birth peaks usually coincide with the rains. The young are suckled for 4 to 6 months. The males will not be mature enough to hold a territory until they're 5 or 6 years old. Impala have a lifespan of 12 years.
It's June 1st and the weekend starts here. Very good evening to you and a warm welcome to NTV Weekend Edition tonight. And in your weekly profile feature, we meet the founder and owner of Great Lakes Safaris, Amos Wekesa. Don't miss it as he shares his experience with Maurice Ochol. Plus, we'll be bringing you your weekly dose of laughter point blank. And in NTV Weekend Sport, we're talking the Uganda Cranes as we build up to their clash against Angola on Sunday. So don't go anywhere as we welcome in the weekend in style this Friday evening. Starting right now with tonight's main headlines.
We are using the intelligence networks to follow up this information seriously.
Ugandan police release a picture of the suspected terrorist who is believed to have crossed into the country via the Busia border.
After serving for 3 years as the head of U.S. mission here in Kampala, what views does Ambassador Jerry Lanier have about the healthcare system here in Uganda and other areas? Join me, Sudil Biaranga, as I bring you more details to that story.
It is a Friday, and in point blank, I'm your usual suspect, Agnes Nandutu, to bring you the dramatic elections of Yala MPs.
Uganda Cranes travel to Rwanda to play Angola in the 2014 FIFA World Cup qualifier. Join me, Alfred Odong, with a story on the state of the team ahead of their game on Sunday.
Once again, welcome to NTV Weekend Edition. I am Rachel Arinitwe. Now in NTV Weekend Sport later on in tonight's newscast, I'll be speaking to Asuman Luboa, FUFA's technical director. We'll be looking ahead to Uganda Cranes Africa Cup of Nations qualifier on Sunday away to Angola. And it is on this issue that we engage you tonight in our NTV Weekend poll. And we are asking, do you think Uganda Cranes have prepared adequately for the forthcoming AFCON World Cup qualifiers? I repeat, do you think Uganda Cranes have prepared adequately for the forthcoming AFCON and World Cup qualifiers? Well, to have your say, text your comment to 8778, starting with your with your name. And don't forget to let us know where you're texting in from. We shall be reading some of your comments during tonight's newscast. Now moving on to tonight's main news, Ugandan police have released a picture of the suspected terrorist who is believed to have crossed into the country via the Busia border aboard a Kalita coach. The man by the names Khalid Mullah is said to be a German national of Somali origin who is suspected to have deep connections with the Somalia-based Al-Shabaab militant group. Inspector General of Police Kale Kaihura yesterday put the country on high security alert after a woman traveling in the same bus with the suspected terrorist blew the whistle to police. Isabel Nakuria opens tonight's newscast.
Ahmed Khalid Mwela is believed to have entered Kenya illegally about 2 weeks ago before slipping through the police dragnet and finally gaining entry into Ugandan territory. The German national Somali origin is also suspected to be using other names like Andres Martin Mwela and Abu Nasaiba. Police suspect Mwela could be armed and dangerous and in possession of information on planned Al-Shabaab attacks in the country.
He was detected in a bus by a passenger. Well, of course, I cannot disclose to you. Who had seen because the Kenyan police had his picture displayed. So this person took the picture of this terrorist.
Mwela is believed to be part of a racket of terrorists that reportedly left Somalia some few weeks back and are now spread all over the East African territory. The public have been called upon to be extra vigilant about any suspicious objects left unattended to.
We are using the intelligence networks to follow up this information seriously, and we just caution members of the public to be on high alert for maybe strangers in their respective areas.
Police have also intensified security checks in all public places, including foot patrols in the city.
We are doing all what is possible to make sure that we use the intelligence in the country and also in the neighboring regions to track up this person.
Yesterday, IGP Kale Kaihura put the country on high security alert after intelligence reports revealed that Mwela was in Ugandan territory. Pilgrims going to attend the Martyrs' Day celebrations have particularly been warned to be careful. Isabel Nakiria, NTV.
The Democratic President, Norbert Mao, is questioning government's lack of interest in reaping from its long-term relations and support of the Republic of South Sudan. Discussing the topic, promoting transparency and accountability in the oil sector, members of parliament and the civil society called for regionalizing of the oil debate to attain a comprehensive perception on the sector. The oil sector has in the recent past been embroiled in bribery allegations. Now, the comments came during the State of the Nation platform earlier today.
Kenya clinched the deal for South Sudan to build a refinery, an opportunity that Uganda would have harnessed due to its contribution to the liberation of South Sudan.
This is not an issue where the president should start confronting parliament. This is an issue where the president should call all key decision makers, including leaders of political parties, to present his vision and have it discussed, improved. That's the only way Uganda can go forward. The way we are going about the oil business now, we are just sitting on a time bomb.
With oil in Uganda, Tanzania and Kenya, some people feel that it would be ideal to utilize the East African integration by building one joint refinery.
Instead of having a small one, I wish actually the committee would pick that matter.
Legislators are working around the clock to introduce the most effective oil laws that will foster transparency and fair distribution of the revenue. However, a section of the public insists that the first beneficiaries of the resource should be the people from where the wells were discovered, such as the Bunyoro.
That if the people of Bunyoro cannot get anything on this oil, Uganda will get nothing.
Out of 100%, we are saying 93 or 96% should go to central government. And this is for all Ugandans. It's true. We need also to address those areas that are going to actually be affected by the activities of oil.
Experts warn that there is still time for Uganda to avoid a Nigerian scenario where the issue of oil has led to violent clashes that left scores dead.
You have the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta. They are busy blowing up pipelines, shooting expatriate workers, kidnapping the managers. We still have the time to avoid that.
However, some of the legislators are unhappy with the way in which the investigations into allegations of bribery within the energy sector has been carried out.
And we hope before they bring the report, they will have given that opportunity for witnesses to appear before a forensic expert, somebody who can be trusted with information and be availed to the Committee of Parliament, which eventually will be relayed on the floor of Parliament.
Critics say that tangible results from oil will be achieved as a result of continued efforts that legislators will devote to the sector. Sudil Biarhanga, NTV.
Now, the NRM party has this evening endorsed Dora Byamukama as its preferred candidate for speakership at the East African Legislative Assembly. This comes a day after Parliament elected 9 candidates for the Yala seats in Arusha. And DP's chief legal advisor, Mukasa Mbide, has turned his guns at the Forum for Democratic Change party over what he calls betrayal tactics to block other parties from actively participating in regional politics. Mbide, who has just won himself a seat in the East African Legislative Assembly, claims FDC had written to the Clerk of Parliament seeking extension of the nomination period without consulting other parties. Hilary Ayesiga has the details.
NRM has endorsed Dora Byamukama as the sole candidate for the position of the East African Legislative Assembly.
Honorable Byamukama, Dora is the candidate for Uganda, and we are doing all we can to make sure that we build consensus around this candidate and make sure that Uganda wins with less hiccups.
Meanwhile, the Democratic Party Chief Legal Advisor Mukasa Mbide has criticized FDC for using underhand methods to block other parties from participating in regional politics. Waving a copy which he calls documentary proof that FDC was using underhand methods to block other parties from participating in the East African Legislative Assembly elections, Mbide threatened to expose their tricks.
We landed on this letter, and it was a ploy
by the FDC to again block other parties like they have done for the last 10 years.
The Democratic Party legal advisor was responding to threats from the leader of opposition Nandala Mafabi that he is going to reshuffle the shadow cabinet in parliament following the decision by DP and UPC to participate in the elections. Before the elections took place, opposition parties had planned to boycott the process after the ruling party refused to agree on how to share the 9 slots to the Legislative Assembly. But Mbide, who had earlier petitioned the East African Court of Justice over the matter, made a U-turn and participated in the process together with UPC.
They have even referred to me as a Judas Iscariot, which is not true. In fact, I am the real Jesus of Iyala, but I came for smaller parties.
This decision has since left the opposition torn apart. Hilary Isiga, NTV.
Now, after spending 3 years in Uganda, the head of the U.S. mission in Kampala, Jerry Lanier, says that Uganda's current healthcare system is not sustainable and called upon Ugandans to continue to demand for more from the government. Speaking exclusively to NTV, he asserted that the country has lost far more lives due to the failure of the health system than Uganda has to foreign or domestic enemies. So Biarhanga reports. We do apologize. We'll bring you the pictures of that story later on in this newscast. Now, the Bank of Uganda has reduced the central bank's rate to 20% after holding it at 21% for the past 3 months, as it was worried about the rebounding of inflation. However, there remains fears that the economic problems of Europe could challenge the efforts of bringing down inflation to single digits. Samuel Setumba has more.
The central bank rate has been reduced to 20% from 21% for June, and this should signal to the banks to lower interest rates. But this is highly doubtful to happen. But if you're an insightful businessman, the monetary policy statement by the governor contained a key indicator for planning.
Boosting real GDP growth will require a resumption of private sector credit growth through a gradual reduction of interest rates over the next 6 to 12 months.
In central bank's opinion, comfortable borrowing, the way you know it, can only return in 6 to 12 months. That means not at least until the end of the first half of the next financial year. That is an anecdote for planning. But things may not get better as fast as hoped.
There is a possibility that the problems in the euro area could trigger turbulence in the global financial markets. This in turn could have adverse effects on the exchange rate in Uganda.
If the shilling weakened further, that would lead to inflation rebounding and interest rates staying up. Nevertheless, there could be a point of optimism anchored on hope.
In the next financial year, if all goes well and everything remains as we expect, the economy will be growing at about 5 to 6%.
The budget is the next place to watch for planning anecdotes. But for businesses, contingencies have become indispensable, as sometimes things defy all forecasts. Samuel Setumba, NTV.
All right, we'll take you back to one of our stories earlier. After spending 3 years in Uganda, the head of the U.S. mission in Kampala, Jerry Lanier, says that Uganda's current healthcare system is not sustainable and called upon Ugandans to continue to demand for more from the government. Speaking exclusively to NTV, he asserted that the country has lost far more lives due to the failure of the health system than Uganda has to foreign or domestic enemies. Sidir Biarhanga reports.
A day after Ambassador Jerry arrived in Uganda in September 2009, Kampala was engulfed in riots that left nearly 40 people dead. The first astonishing experience in 20 years of his diplomatic work. And from that time, the ambassador has been monitoring all aspects of life in Uganda, which include politics, economics, culture, and Uganda's health system.
The ambassador noted that within the health sector, drugs continue missing in hospitals and some of the badly needed supplies are stolen and sold. Mothers continue to die in childbirth.
You have lost far more lives
due to the failure of your health system than you have to foreign or domestic enemies. And it is time to devote the same attention, energy, and seriousness to the health of the Ugandan people as you do to their security and their military.
The ambassador noted that whereas America is proud of the commendable job done by the UPDF in AMISOM, order has been kept, but there are complaints from the public about aspects of conduct and overall performance of security forces when it comes to domestic security.
Some shareholders are very happy and some are not. Some are disappointed. But that will be a continuing topic for discussion and work here in Uganda.
The brutality we have seen around, the rampant brutality, has been a one-sided brutality.
We shall continue to improve, but it's our humble prayer that our political class in this country must be law-abiding.
In economic growth and development, where U.S. also invests lots of money, Ambassador Jerry noted that the performance declined during his period, blaming it on poor policies.
Of course, the growth has not been extended to all areas of the nation, and it, of course, has not been all that well distributed. Some individuals have managed to gain much larger shares and wealth far beyond their own investment and contributions.
We will miss you very much. Thank you.
Sudil Biaruhanga, NTV.
We're now going to take a short break. There's still so much more on NTV Weekend Edition, and here's a sneak peek at what you can expect.
Mayors and officials from across the region call upon the police to apologize for the treatment of the Lord Mayor during an eviction exercise in Kisenyi. And in your weekly dose of laughter, we bring you all the drama from this week's Iala elections. NTV Weekend Edition continues after this break. Do stay tuned.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. Now, a reminder that in this evening's NTV Weekend poll, we are asking, do you think Uganda Cranes have prepared adequately for the forthcoming AFCON and World Cup qualifiers? I repeat, do you think Uganda Cranes have prepared adequately for the forthcoming AFCON and World Cup qualifiers? Well, to have you say, text your comment to 8778 followed by your name and where you are texting from. Let's now sample some of your comments so far. Well, we have Boham Inserti saying the preparations would have been adequate had it not been for the new look Cranes team. And he says Bobby should be brilliant to start with wins. And we also have Rotharik from Moobs saying no, because they did not have build-up matches to test their preparation. We've got RCC in Nakawa division saying yes, Uganda Cranes is well prepared for Angolan and the AFCON World Cup qualifiers match, but they have to rectify past mistakes. All right, thank you so much for your comments. Keep them coming, and do stay tuned as we shall be bringing you some more of those at the tail end of tonight's newscast. Now, he is the founder and owner of Great Lakes Safaris and also the president of the Uganda Tourism Association. We're talking about Amos Wekesa. Wekesa was almost killed by his mother when he was just 2 years old due to the hardships that she faced in attempting to raise him. But he has gone on to be a highly successful businessman and has become an influential figure in revitalizing Uganda's tourism industry. He attributes his success to being humble to God, who blesses all he does. Amos's main advice in achieving in life is discovering the passion that lies within you. In this week's profile feature, Maurice Ochol spends some time with Amos Wekesa.
It's in this serene setting at the offices of the Great Lakes Safaris in Luzira Hill where I catch up with Amos Wekesa, the CEO and founder of the Great Lakes Safaris, one of the most renowned tour companies in the country. Born in 1974 during the Idi Amin era, Amos was raised from an orphanage where he was raised together with other boys that he considers his family. Amos's journey hasn't been a smooth ride to success.
I was born in the eastern part of Uganda, on a border called Wakaka, smuggling family, and did not go to school until the age of 10. I was in nursery school at the age of 10. I was taken up by Salvation Army, where I stayed with other 45 boys from different homes. It was a home of less advantaged kids called Salvation Army Children's Home in Tororo. I was there for 13 years of my life, and we went to different schools. I went to St. Peter's College, Tororo, Wairaka. I went to Oguti Primary School.
Having completed his certificate in tourism in the late 1990s, Wekesa then started up as an office messenger at Belex Tours, where he was earning just $10 a month. But this was the foundation of his success with humility.
I was born on the 22nd of April, so it was after my 27th birthday that I registered Great Lakes Safaris. And when we registered Great Lakes Safaris, it was in a briefcase, I had a briefcase, an invoice, and a receipt book. And then I got a mobile phone at the time. That's all I had for 9 months. Then from there we moved to a very small office on Rainbow Arcade.
11 years down the road, Amos Wekesa is now an accomplished entrepreneur where he is running 3 lodges, all located in some of Uganda's biggest national parks. These lodges, Budongo Eco Lodge, Simba Safaris and Premet, host a number of tourists that come into the country.
In 2002, January, it was a lady from World Bank. She had come to do, some bit of research in Uganda. So we took her to Queen Elizabeth National Park. She loved her trip. I made sure we gave her the best service, because she told another group that came in May, and this group was 6 guys that went to Queen Elizabeth National Park. So we gave them an extremely very brilliant tour guide who knew about 600 different species of birds. But little did I know that was an editor with the Washington Times. This guy went and wrote an article worth $340,000. And after writing that article, people started coming. We've read about Great Lakes Safaris in Washington Times.
Currently employing over 250 people in his companies, the God-fearing son of Bugisu land from eastern Uganda talks of how he has traveled countries worldwide but still feels Uganda is the best and most beautiful country.
I traveled the whole of Uganda. I had seen tourists shedding tears at the airport and thinking this is the best country they've been in. They were asking questions like, why would people be so poor in such a beautiful country? And so I could see it, and I started appreciating my own country. I started thinking, if I put a lot of effort in actually appreciating my own country, then I'll be able. It's like a wife. If you think your wife is the most ugly woman, you're always abusing her, you never get the benefits out of it. It's the same as the country. If you think Uganda is the worst place there is, you never put effort in trying to discover what is in your neighborhood and use it for the betterment of your own life, and you never even give it back as a country.
Amos attributes his success to his humility to God. In fact, during our interactions, the word God and his favor kept popping up. It's 1:30 p.m. and Amos takes a short break off work to pick his children from school. The father of 3 gets to Rainbow Academy. His children, Aliyah and Kyle, hop into the car. Amos is married to an American, Amy, whom he met in 2001 while she worked as a missionary in Uganda. 2002, they got married and were blessed with 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl.
I don't know.
I then asked Amy how best she would describe her husband.
Sense of humor, I think that's a given for anybody who's known him for more than 5 minutes. That's no secret. Yeah, he loves his children and they love him, and I think he has tried really hard to build a solid family.
Amos's wife is a stay-at-home mother, but Amos pays her a salary.
I would stay home with the children, and I've been very grateful for that. I think there are nights where I'm up until 3 o'clock in the morning with one of the children or more than one of the children, and I think, wow, if I had to go to a job the next morning, I don't know how I would manage, I don't know how we would manage, and then
The 2 advocates say success always comes by working as a team, but above all, discovering one's passion.
I always tell young people to try and discover their passion. That's number one. You must discover your passion. But at the same time, as a Christian, I think they also must have a commitment to God. Because God is the one who blesses the works of our hands. He's the one who safeguards us at the time of trouble. He's the one who gives us the wisdom. He opens the ways for us. I believe so.
But who are the people who played a pivotal role in his life?
There's a particular guy who just died recently called Bahinguza James. He was brutally honest. And I liked that. And I tried to emulate this guy. He confronted me on several times, but he taught me a lot of things. He lived a very nice life. And I remember when he died, everybody spoke so well of this guy. And I looked up to him in a number of ways, generally speaking.
I then asked him what his major focus and goal is, especially regarding Uganda that he loves so much.
And I want to do a campaign where every Ugandan is able to write good stories about Uganda. And the other thing is that, like of late, I was telling people I have a commitment to Uganda, and the president of Uganda doesn't have to know this. But you will never find me boarding a plane without having a shirt written on Uganda. You're going to play badminton a bit, then
Amos spends his free time playing games with his children. To Amos, tourism in Uganda hasn't yet begun. He argues there are very many opportunities that haven't been tapped, stressing the number of tourists that flock Kenya and Tanzania, despite Uganda being voted as a top tourism destination by travel guide Lonely Planet for 2012. At 38 years, the sky is the limit for Amos Wekesa, with several awards and appreciations that have come his way. Maurice Ochol, NTV.
Well, mayors and officials from Wakiso, Kawempe, Kashiri, Nansana and Entebbe have called upon the police to apologize to the public for the manner in which the Lord Mayor Arias Lukwago was treated during an eviction exercise they oversaw in Kisenyi last month. Lukwago on the 20th of May tried to intervene in an eviction exercise at Kalitunsi Zone in downtown Kampala, but was blocked and sent away by the police.
The Wakane Alliance comprises of mayors from Wakiso, Kachiri, Nansana Town Councils, Kawempe Division and Entebbe Municipality. The group argues that there was nothing irregular about the Lord Mayor inquiring about an eviction in an area under his jurisdiction and condemned the way he was handled.
Mistreating the Lord Mayor when he went to Kalitunsi Kisenyi to inquire about the eviction of his people. But the police did nothing else but to molest the Lord Mayor. That was humiliating.
Lukwago last month was sent away from the scene of an eviction exercise in Chisenyi, where a truck parkyard, said to have been acquired by a private developer, was being cleared. The Lord Mayor queried the legality of the enforcers' actions and also the day the eviction was taking place, it being a Sunday. The group has now threatened to take action if an apology is not made.
We are deciding that if we reach Wednesday without having that apology, we are going on hunger strike. We shall be as much peaceful as possible. We don't expect police to confront us, because if they confront us this time, we shall also not keep quiet.
The Mayor's Alliance was formed after last year's general election in a bid to promote good practices in local administration among member councils and, according to them, advance the common man's interest.
Now in Point Blank tonight, we bring you the excitement of the East African Legislative Assembly elections that were characterized with dancing and singing by the honorable members of the 9th Parliament. Enjoy your weekly dose of laughter with Agnes Landutu.
Bite off. Hey! I am the man who can just look at the woman and she gets pregnant. Where did you train from? You should leave issues of the generals to the generals. You want another rap? Yeah, Susan.
The place is Parliament, and we have a campaign to elect for MPs for the East African Legislative Assembly. First candidate, please. Go ahead with your speech.
Waheshimiwa Waziri, Waheshimiwa wabunge wa Uganda.
Unaongea Kiswahili. Jina lako mama?
Naitwa Nusura Tiperu, bunge la Afrika Mashariki.
And in Uganda here?
In Uganda I am called Namazi.
Mama Tiperu Namazi. Indeed you are, and you deserve a jar of water to enhance your name. What about in Western Uganda where you are married?
And in Bunyoro, where I am married, I am called Mama Jerry. My uncles in the West call me Bunyuzi.
Nice names, Mom. And it has really excited honorable members of Parliament. Another candidate to address the electorate.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Ansubga Jack Mandela.
And where do you come from?
I am here to tell you that the youth have arrived in Ansubga Jack Mandela from Eastern Usoga.
The Giga invested region?
I don't have jiggers, like most of you say.
From Usoga and you don't have jiggers?
I want you to judge me, not because I'm financially impotent, not because I lost my parents, not because I come from Usoga, not because I have a peasant background, but because I have the mental support to attacking Arusha.
You are ready to attack indeed. But have you studied law that would enable you to attack Arusha Parliament?
It's not a show for lawyers or doctors. This is a show for mental support artillery. How you can fight for Uganda.
All right. That's enough, Mr. Mandela the Great.
I have a lot to talk. I am a talker. Education.
Okay. I give you 1 minute, Mr. Talker.
Respect that I'll be obedient. I'll work with you in hand to hand, shoulder to shoulder. I'll put my ears on the ground. The youth are behind.
Time up, Bwana Mandela. I am the Speaker of this House, and I'm instructing you to now leave the podium, please.
Because of time, I won't talk so much. Fight on the top. I will fight on the sea. I'll fight on the island. For the issues of East African integration. Current honorable members, a Pisan Toye. I am representing the Pisan from Karamoja. Robsel Benaziza.
Next candidate. Your agenda, Mr. Sebalu.
Standing here, aspiring to inspire you before I expire.
Thank you, Mr. Expire. Beautiful. To get votes in this contest, you have to display a beauty contest to MPs. And that is exactly what Mbide has done. No. I can also see Honorable Ken Luchamzi. So, Ken the man, why are you not taking part in this ongoing EALA elections?
To hell with that. I have disassociated myself with those sham elections.
Why, when you even have a candidate?
Candidate in the names of Edward Kayondo, I know, is a staunch NRM man. Why do you impose him on CP? Why do they fear CP if it is a small party? To go to the extent of imposing a candidate on us is hell, is unconstitutional, and I strongly condemn that character sketch.
Good enough this happened in the parliament where you are a member.
What sort of parliament is that? We are imagining we are in Beirut, we are in Afghanistan, we are in the Sudan. There is no democracy. To hell with that process.
Let me go back to the house and I conduct the elections. Mr. Opoka, this is a fantastic reception. How do you feel?
I'm so happy the Congress of the People has come back to the House. I think Milton Obote must be smiling in his grave.
May you please sing that for us one more time?
Oh, mama, now you see the Congress of the People. Uganda yote, mama, now you see the Congress of the People. So, and Agnes, I really love your concluding signature remarks.
You like it? All right. Here is the opportunity to fit into my shoes.
Agnes Nandutu, NTV, point blank.
Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed that. Let's now take a short break. I'll be right back with the very latest in Friday's NTV Weekend Sport.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Welcome to NTV Weekend Sport. Now, the Uganda Cranes team has arrived in the Angolan capital Luanda in preparation for the team's clash against Angola on Sunday. 18 players boarded the plane to Angola from Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Kenya. Abedira and Brian Umony have surprisingly been left out of the squad. Now, last September, Angola beat Uganda Cranes 2-0. However, back in 2011 at Nambole, Uganda Cranes beat Angola 3-0. Alfredo Dong reports.
Uganda Cranes made their first trip in their hunt for a place in the 2014 World Cup to be played in Brazil. The 23-man delegation arrived in Angola in the morning with all the players and officials in good health. The game to be played on Sunday is the fifth between Uganda and Angola since 2008, with the Cranes captain Ande Mwesigwa, Mike Serumaga, Dan Wagaluka and Simon Masaba still part of the team featuring in the previous encounters. They played to a goalless draw in Luanda in 2008, the Cranes winning the other two in Kampala 3-1 and 3-0 before falling by 2-0 away in the 2012 Nations qualifier. Uganda Cranes are to play Senegal on the 9th before taking on Congo Brazzaville in the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Alfred Odong, NTV Sport.
Now, as we continue our build-up to Sunday's big match, I'm delighted to be joined here in the studio by Asuman Luboa, FUFA's technical director. Very warm welcome to NTV Weekend Sport.
Thank you, Rachel.
Well, to begin with, there seems to be a concern that the Uganda Cranes have not had any international build-up game. What are their chances against Angola?
True, Uganda never had an international build-up game. There are factors why we didn't have that. Football is not a federation's effort only, but it must be an effort of all stakeholders, government being the main stakeholder.
Right.
And it's a cost having this team prepared to a level where everybody would want it to be. But that cost can't be borne by the federation alone. Despite that, the government was alerted, the government was given all it required. But to our surprise, the government has not come up to support. And nevertheless, but the federation has done all it can to see that the team is prepared and the team lives for Angola.
All right. So we just hope that they are ready for the match.
Definitely, the team is ready for the match. All Ugandans should expect some results from Angola.
Okay, the last time Uganda Cranes played Angola away in Rwanda, they lost 2-0. Now, what will it take for them to achieve victory this time around?
Oh, well, it shouldn't be, but we are prepared because we have ever had results from Angola. I remember Sabah time we drew with Angola after beating them 3-1 here. And this time we're prepared, and all mistakes which were done at that time have been rectified.
Okay. You did mention that the federation has done everything in their power to make sure that the team is fully prepared. What are we doing? What exactly has been put in place to make sure that the Cranes qualify?
A lot of money has been put into the travel of all the players. So we have ferried in 21 professional players across the world. We have players from Vietnam, players from as far as Kazakhstan, players from US, players from South Africa, players from Europe. All these players have come here vowing to revenge what we received in Angola last time.
All right. Well, just one final question. Of the two competitions, 2014 FIFA World Cup and next year's Nations qualifiers, which one are you prioritizing?
It's a tricky question, but I could even ask that to all Ugandans. But the Federation is taking all these competitions as important as one should be. But Africa Cup of Nations is one of the major priorities. But how do we come to get results in that game? The preparations are now. If we get results in Angola game, we get results in Senegal game, then we shall be prepared to defeat Congo and we qualify.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking time to speak with NTV Weekend Sport.
Thank you very much, Rachel, and NTV.
All right.
Right.
Well, we do wish the Uganda Cranes all the best. I've been speaking to Asuman Luboa, FUFA's technical director. And now moving on, the Uganda Super League resumed this evening with 5 fixtures, producing a total of 15 goals as defending champions Uganda Revenue Authority lost away from home to Simba in Bombo. Meanwhile, Police lost to Bunamwaya by 5-0 at Nambole. Nachivubo Sports Club Villa managed to overcome victors by 4-2. victors placing themselves in a position that may see them fall into the relegation zone. Meanwhile, Toda held water to a 1-0 draw at Wankulukuku. Bidco kept themselves in a safe position as they worsened Hoima Busia's relegation wars with a 1-0 victory at Kakindu. And finally, defending champions Uganda Revenue Authority had their quest to claim the national title in a row dented as they were edged by 1-0 by Simba in Bombo. Now finally, in NTV Weekend Sport for tonight, the National Baseball League fixture tomorrow will see the reigning champions Chambogo Buffaloes play overriding Sharing Fighters in Kampala. The defending champions are up to making history by winning the title with an unbeaten run.
Chambogo Buffaloes play their 5th league game at home against Sharing Fighters with a huge task of maintaining a clean sheet. The reigning champion, however, have their fears for Sharing, who have made improvements in their campaign, including last weekend's upset of Lugazi. With 3 wins from 5 games, the Buffaloes are not underrating the Fighters, who stand a chance to end their unbeaten run in the league. Chambogo have won all their 4 league games so far played and are setting their eyes to making history by claiming this season's title in a unique style.
Tomorrow we play Sharing. And they're not an easy team to go over. So we're taking them seriously, very seriously, given the fact that Lugazi took them lightly in their game, and Lugazi actually lost the game. So we're taking them seriously, and as defending champions, we've always wanted to win all our games. And this is also a serious game, so we want to win it as well.
And that winds up NTV Sport for tonight. Do stay with us for some more of your comments on NTV Weekend Poll this evening, coming right up.
This is NTV. 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 This is NTV.
Let's now take you back to tonight's NTV Weekend Poll, and we asked you, do you think Uganda Cranes have prepared adequately for the forthcoming AFCON and World Cup qualifiers? Thank you so much for all your comments tonight. Let's quickly sample some of the ones you have sent through. We've got Spako in Kabao Mutundwe saying, no, they needed tougher teams for trials like Angola has done. And we have someone in full support of the Uganda Cranes saying, yes, Uganda Cranes will whip Angola 2-1. And they have our full support. Well, thank you so much for all your comments, and that concludes NTV Weekend Edition for tonight. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, so keep it right here with NTV. I'm Rachel Arinitwe, wishing you a very good night.